Peace, family. Peace. Oh, hang on a minute. Ooh. I don't think that's a very good light. It's not a very good lighting, is it, fam? Hang on a minute, family. Hang on a minute. Hang on, what we doing now? That's not a very good light. Everyone coming in. I'm going to try and do something with this lighting. Let's get the curtain down. That help? Oh, that may help. There you go. Coming in, fam. What's good? What is good? Family. Family. Well, I have come upon some information. I don't know how to share my screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link in the chat and see how that works. That link in the chat, right, is from documentcloud.org, right? Documentcloud.org. What's good, family? And if you read it, it is a PDF of an FBI report that was done in 2006. 2006, 2 years, I believe, before Obama took office. And I'm gonna drop it again. I'm gonna keep dropping it so people can actually go and have a look at it. It actually says in that report, the FBI, not Sarah Garvey, not a conspiracy theorist organization, the FBI, okay, have investigated the police forces of America and have found that white supremacist groups are infiltrating the US police force. Now, this is done in 2006. 2006. So in 2018, when we see video after video of unarmed black guy being shot, black people being mistreated, all this kind of stuff, you can kind of connect the dots, right? You can kind of connect the dots, I'm guessing. The FBI have already told you. White supremacist groups are infiltrating the police force. Like, why is this not, look, why is this not news? Everyone's wondering why, this is happening, that's happening, in America right now, the National Football League, the NFL, you've got players in there that are making a stand, that are protesting against these kind of things, right? And they're taking a knee while the national anthem plays, and they said, they are protesting against the police force in America who are doing this kind of stuff. And the American people, a lot of the American people are pissed off at them. They're pissed off at a peaceful protest, saying it's unpatriotic and you got to respect the flag and respect the national anthem, all this kind of stuff. But in all the time that I've heard about this, and now what's happening is they're saying that they can be fined now for actually protesting, all this kind of stuff. But what is happening now, or what I haven't heard, is neither during the whole of Obama's reign, no one spoke about this report. And on Obama's watch for 8 years, there was a lot of abuse from police officers on black people, a lot of abuse. It was filmed, we saw it, video after video after video after video, right? And this kind of thing made me wonder, like, why didn't Obama say something? This kind of thing makes me wonder, why hasn't Donald Trump said anything? Chrissy says, don't believe everything you read. This is an FBI report, Chrissy. This is not a report from some random, website and stuff. This is an FBI report. So if the FBI are saying this is happening, just read the report. I'll drop the link in for the report again. Okay. I'll drop the link for the report again so everyone can read it. It's in the chat. Okay. Just read the report. Being an FBI report, obviously some bits are blacked out because it's private and confidential. However, this kind of stuff has been happening since 2006. So why hasn't anybody spoken about it? Why are people angry at, NFL players for protesting this stuff? No one spoke about the fact that a lot of the police forces could be basically run by white supremacist groups, and that may be the reason all of this stuff is happening. Why is no one connecting the dots? Why is no one connecting the dots? Like, why is everyone acting like, this is just some random thing and we don't know why? Or it's because the guy, looked like a criminal, or it's because he ran, or it's because, he went into his pocket, or all this kind of other stuff that people want to use. But we have a FBI report here, which may, I could be wrong, shed some light on the situation. Call me crazy, family. Like, call me crazy. I don't know. Look, America has had a long running history with racism. As a matter of fact, America was started via racism. The whole country of America was started via racism, if we're all honest and objective. So the black-white relations in America have always been under strain. And I understand that. But it doesn't mean that we, just because of the emotional tension in the country, that we just ignore facts. You know what I'm saying? We can't just ignore facts just because of our own emotion. So, I try to be as objective as I can. I can talk about this today, then tomorrow I can talk about something else. But on this particular issue, right, we need to start talking about it. We need to start talking about this stuff. Like, if we can connect the dots on issues, because the first step to actually solving a problem is the admittance of a problem. And I feel like sometimes, when I look at America, I feel like sometimes Americans and America as a country doesn't want to admit it has a problem. I feel like it doesn't want to admit that it has a problem. And it's like, well, the first step to you actually getting something done is just, admit you got a problem first, But people keep coming up with all kinds of excuses when these kind of, police shootings happen, and, abuse of black people and stuff. Like, it happens. Like, let's just say, okay, it happens. So, Proud Black Conservative says, Sarah, I invite you to visit black cities in America. You will find not one white supremacist or issues in criminology, no men, poor family structure. I don't understand what you mean, Proud Black Conservative. I don't understand what you mean. I'm not saying that I'm not saying white supremacists live in black cities. I'm saying the police force, according to the FBI report. And this is what I don't want. I don't want people getting all emotional about what I'm saying, because I didn't write the report, And I think human beings become very emotionally triggered when, a lot of facts and figures start coming out and all this kind of stuff. So, I didn't write this report, Like, this report isn't mine. It's not Sarah Garvey's report. It's an FBI report. Whether you either believe the FBI or you don't. It's really that simple. You can say the FBI are lying. That's cool. You can take that position. You have every right. Sorry, I'm going to get some light in here. You have every right to take that position. If you think the FBI are lying, then so be it. FBI are lying, if that's your position. However, it's a report from 2006. If non-whites in America didn't commit crime, then the police wouldn't be able to abuse their authority and racially profile, said Prison Life. If non-whites in America, crime is a problem everywhere, though. Prison Life. Like, crime is actually a problem everywhere, though, Not just in America. It's a crime all over it's a problem all over the world. And because we know we have a problem of crime, it still doesn't mean you're allowed to abuse your power. Like, crime is worldwide, I can probably step out of my door right now and something may happen, a crime may be committed. But if I report that crime, or whoever's being, done for that crime doesn't need to be, sorry. Yeah, it doesn't mean that, the crime, the person in the position of power needs to abuse their power. Like, I don't, abuse of power is not it is an issue. It's a matter whether the crime's been committed or not, you know? I know, this is prison life. I know, bro, but I mean the whole Black Lives Matter movement. I'm a convict. I can't judge. Well, I don't know. I don't know about the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm not even talking about the Black Lives Matter movement. Not a movement that I particularly, endorse or follow. I'm just saying. The FBI, Dave says the FBI shut down white power groups all the time. Okay, that's cool. However, they are reporting that they're infiltrating the police force. Now, I'll just ask the family, do you think it's a coincidence the way, you've seen a lot of Black people being mistreated by the police? Is it coincidence? Or do you just think, it's all individual cases and there's no coincidence? That's what I'd like to know. Sarah, no, it's not a police force problem in a city, Black America. I'm a Black woman, born and raised in America. Black has issues with drugs, gangs, fathers of the home. Okay, I don't disagree with you there, proud Black conservative, but that's not the conversation. That's not the conversation. Oh gosh. The thing is, I had the conversation this morning. I said this to somebody and they said, oh yeah, well, there's Black on Black crime too. And I'm like, I know that, but that's not the conversation. And that's what I find quite frustrating about talking about a certain subject. I start talking about oranges, you start talking about apples. Bro, we were talking about oranges. Like, why are you talking about apples right now? Like, if we're talking about oranges, let's stick to the subject. And I don't deny that there's Black on Black crime, less fathers in the home, and drugs in the community. I do not deny that. As a matter of fact, I agree with you. However, we're talking about the police abuse of Black people. That's what we're talking about and why it happens. Now, on a side note, if you want to talk about that after, 100%, we can talk about that. But let's not conflate the issue and let's not throw red herrings and and let's not bring straw man arguments into the situation. Like, is there a problem with the police force when it comes to abuse of Black people? I would say it seems like there is. Evox the Evangelist says, Sarah, man, those topics are intertwined. Evox the Evangelist, how would police abuse of Black people be intertwined with no Black fathers being in the home? Show me how that intertwines. That's what I want to know. How would police abuse of Black people be intertwined with there be no fathers in the home? This is what, make the correlation, make those two match up with me then. That's what I want to know. Like, because I'm not saying there aren't Black fathers in the home and there aren't drugs in the community. I'm not saying that. As a matter of fact, I agree with that. But I'm saying police abusing Black people has nothing to do with Black fathers not being in the home. The police are their own entity. They are not supposed to abuse people, regardless if there's a father in the home or a mother in the home or a grandmother in the home, regardless of whether there's someone taking drugs or whatever. They're not supposed to just abuse a person. That's not what they're for. They're there to protect and serve. So you cannot link those two to me. I don't understand. Chrissy says there's more whites being killed by police. Fact. Chrissy, there are more white people in America. So statistically, yeah, you're probably right. But there is an overrepresentation of police abusing Black people. This is what I'm talking about. Of course, there are going to be more white people being killed by police because there's more white people in general. So statistically, that would make sense. Racial profiling is a problem, says, sorry, who was that? Hang on, sorry. Proud Black Conservative says again, no straw man, no red herring. how it is intertwined when young boys are causing major issues in our communities. Police will be involved when young black men are carrying illegal firearms. Proud black conservative. If the if black men are carrying illegal firearms, what does that have to do with police abusing unarmed black people? This is what I'm trying to ask the question. Like, I don't deny anything you're saying. I really don't deny anything you're saying. There could be a thing of black men carrying unarmed or unregistered firearms and stuff. But why does that mean the police have to abuse unarmed black people? Why does that mean that though? Because you can do your job without abusing people. I'm just saying, you can do your job without abusing people. This is what I don't understand. I don't understand why people are conflating issues and, like throwing red herrings. And that's why it does sound like a straw man to me, because basically what you're trying to say is police are allowed to abuse black people because they have a suspicion that they may be carrying an illegal firearm. I don't get it. I don't understand. And this is what I mean. I try to be as objective across the board as possible. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. That's cool. Everyone's entitled to that opinion, and I'll take it on and fine. But what I don't want happening is if I'm having a logical conversation about something, don't bring me something else that does not correlate. Okay, just don't bring me something that doesn't correlate, because then we're not talking about the thing that we're actually talking about. Let's stick to the thing that we're talking about. That's all I'm saying. Because if, for instance, if Arab American men were being gunned down unarmed, and people kept on saying, and people said, oh yes, but there's a big thing in the Arab communities that they don't have fathers in the community. Arab people were like, what the hell's that got to do with police gunning our people down? What the hell does gunning people down and abusing your power have to do with no fathers being in the home? I don't get it. There's no correlation. Lemon Fresh says, if cops have had bad experiences with black people, they may well carry that prejudice with them. Stop. All right. Proud Black Conservative says, Sarah, stop making this appear as white supremacist cops are terrorizing hardworking black men. I can't deal with all this emotion. I can't. I'm simply bringing you the FBI report, okay? Bringing you the FBI report that says there are white supremacist groups infiltrating the police forces of America. Okay? That's what's happening. And what we can see, okay, let's look at this. I will give you an example. Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old young black boy. Okay, he was playing with a toy gun in a playground. Okay, the police pulled up on this 12-year-old boy and didn't ask him a question. Now, they may have thought it was a gun, a real one, but they shot him within under 2 seconds of them pulling up. They didn't shout at him, say, hey, kid, what you doing? Put the gun down, blah, blah, blah. They just pulled up and then pop, 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 dead. Okay. Oscar Grant was a black man who was handcuffed in a subway station with his hands behind his back. Handcuffed with his hands behind his back. Okay. And then he was shot in his back while being handcuffed. The Tamir Rice situation, Tamir lived in what you Americans call an open carry state, which means you're allowed to openly carry a gun. So if you live in an open carry state and you're allowed to carry a gun and the police see you, the first thing they should really do is ask you a question, not shoot you, because you could be a licensed gun owner carrying your gun, which is legal within the state that you live in. You don't just shoot somebody, you ask them a question. Or even if you pull your gun out and say, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? And, stand behind your car or some stuff, just in case. Like, I don't understand this. We can't make excuses for this, though. And it seems like proud black conservatives, I don't know who you are, but it seems like you're trying to make an excuse. And I'm only trying to look at this objectively. I'm saying I didn't do this report. The FBI did the report. I didn't do it. The NFL players are taking a knee, not because, they've got nothing better to do, but they see it. And the thing is, a lot of people outside of America can actually see it. It seems like a lot of people within America can't see it. And what I find is, just like, remember the apartheid in South Africa? The apartheid in South Africa stopped mostly from outside pressure from other people who could see what was going on, because the people that were in apartheid, that were in it, they were like, it's just normal. No, what are they complaining about? It's normal. And everyone outside was like, yo, that's some real fucked up shit going on there. So sometimes maybe if you're in something and you're used to something being a certain way, you may not be able to see it the way the outsiders see it. Okay. And so from the outside looking in, this is what it looks like. That's what I'm saying. Are you claiming that to know every single variable associated with these cases? Of course not. That would be silly. Of course not, Evox Angeles. Of course I can't say that. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to be that biased. But I'm saying, right, why can't it be investigated? If there's a police report that has been FBI police report, or FBI report, sorry, that has said that there are white supremacist groups infiltrating police, why now, when these things happen, is that not part of the case? Why is no one thinking, hey, they could be part of a white supremacist group that has infiltrated the police force? Like, why is that not something that's investigated? Because it just seems like, the cop, there's an excuse, mate. I say excuse, or there's a reason given, and they get time off, and then they get paid holiday, and then they come back on force. And no one actually investigates whether or not that policeman could be involved with a white supremacist group, when the FBI has specifically stated that white supremacist groups are part of the police force or infiltrating the police force. I don't get it. Lemon Fresh, Sarah, not making excuses, it concerns me, but I think cops in the USA are scared, says Lemon Fresh. Maybe they are. What if you're scared? You're in the wrong job. I'm just saying. If you're scared all the time, maybe you're in the wrong job, mate. Like, go and do gardening or something. No, go and, like, mow the lawn or some shit. But first of all, you have to understand the citizens of your country are that first. They're citizens. They're taxpayers generally. They're people who put into society. They're people who are working. That is what the people are. If you don't see the people as people first and you see them as criminals first, then maybe, just maybe, you might act the way in which you act. I don't know. Okay, so Evox says, so one report saying white supremacists may be infiltrating the police force equals all incidents involving white cops shooting black people is murder. That's not what I'm saying. Gosh, I'm saying if something like this happens, okay, let's try and break it down like this. There's a report that says, an official report that says Chinese triad gangs, right, are infiltrating the police force, right? Chinese crazy triad gangs are infiltrating the police forces of America. And then you have 10 incidents of Chinese triad gangs, of a Chinese policeman shooting somebody, which is a little bit fishy. Doesn't that say to you, he could be, I'm not saying he is, he could be part of this infiltration of the triad gangs. Let me investigate him and see who he is. Now, I'm not saying every single cop that shoots a black person is a murderer that's part of a white supremacist gang. That's not what I'm saying. That would be stupid. That would be dumb. But I'm saying it should be part of the investigation, and it doesn't seem to be part of the investigation. Jerome Lockhart says, it's because the DOJ and FBI have been infiltrated as well. They're also labeled the conscious community, the black identity extremists. Evox Evangelist, I am speculating though. I'm saying, listen, for me, Okay, just for me, if I was a cop, if I was investigating something, and I knew that in 2006 there'd been a report done that the police forces over America were being infiltrated by white supremacist gangs, I'd probably be a little bit suspicious. I would. I'd be a little bit suspicious, like, see when that happened, could it be? But the thing is, it needs to be investigated to be thrown away. I'm not saying it is. You investigate it, see if it is, and if it's not, you throw it away. But if it's not even part of the investigation, if it's not even part of the whole conversation that you're having as to why this white cop killed this black guy who was unarmed or who was running away or who was already handcuffed, or this little 12-year-old boy who was shot in an open carry state, if that's not part of the conversation in your head, then I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't understand. And knowing the history of America and race relations between black and white peoples in America, okay, it should be part of the conversation. It really should be. It should be part of the conversation. I'm sorry. Like I said, no, you're not gonna. Sorry. You're not gonna be. You're not gonna try and say, oh no, that can never ever be one of the reasons why this happened. No, no. You have to factor that in. You investigate it, see if it's part of the investigation. If it's not, then you throw it away. But don't tell me that can never be part of the reason why. No. Oh, a joint visions in the building was good. Who's that? Infamous Illuminati. I ended Martin Selner, #1 racist for you. Don't know what that means. See, this is what I'm saying now. This is what I'm saying, family. Like, if we don't be objective about it, we're gonna keep talking out of emotion and out of bias. And I'm trying to not speak out of emotion, out of bias. I'm saying if there's an avenue here to investigate, can we please investigate it? Because this keeps happening. You know, this keeps happening. Let's investigate it. Let's see if these people are about, let's see if they are part of a white supremacist group. Okay. And if they're not, so be it. But don't act like it's not there. Don't act like the FBI report hasn't been done and it would have landed on somebody's desk, right? It would have landed on Obama's desk. It's the FBI. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have landed on somebody's desk for them to be like, hang on a minute. Seems a bit odd. Let's have a look. We just totally ignore it? Totally ignore it? We need to update info, not 2006 as Chrissy. I'm not saying it's 2006, but this was done back in 2006. So if they're still, if they are still infiltrating the police forces, or they have already, then they may have deep roots now inside certain police forces. If it's that far back, they may have deep roots. Come on, man. Hassan Yama says Sarah Garvey Martin was the one that was gonna tell the speech at Tommy Robinson. Oh, okay, yeah, Martin Selner. Yeah, why something happened to Martin Selner or something? So many black police in the US, says Chrissy. Yes, there are. Sarah Garvey, they're gonna ignore it like they ignore a lot of shit that's been going on over the years. You're wasting your breath. Nothing's going to change. Thanks for the optimism, Black Fox. Oh, gosh. Proud Black Conservative says, Sarah, stop it. Stop what? Exactly. What do you want me to stop? Stop speaking? Stop speaking? What? Stop attempting to try and connect the dots? What? What do you want me to stop? Is this shaking the foundations of the status quo? Why you want me to stop? Anytime somebody tells me to stop, I never stop. You should know this about me by now, because I'm like a dog with a bone. If I see somebody telling me to stop about something, I'll be like, it sparks something in my head saying, why are they telling me to stop? Oh no, I'm gonna go there. Same thing to do with the religious people. They're telling me, oh, no, it doesn't matter. No, not talk about that. Let's not speak about that. It's like, oh, you don't want to speak about it? No, I'm going to speak about it then. Okay, because there's something there that you're hiding. And I don't like people trying to tell me to stop something. That means you're trying to hide something or you're trying to run away from something. And I ain't about running away. I'm about running towards. Change should begin with you speaking the truth about Black youth. I can't do this. We're talking about the police force. You're talking about Black youth. We're talking about abuse of power in the police force. You're talking about Black youth. What is this? Like, what is this, family? Seriously. This is the kind of stuff that this is why I don't debate people anymore sometimes, you know. Because I get quite frustrated. I'm like, why are you bringing out stuff that doesn't even correlate to the thing? You're talking about the youth. And the thing is, like I said to you, I'm not saying there's not a youth problem. I wouldn't even deny it. But if we're speaking about police abusing their power upon a certain people, why are you telling me to talk to the youth? I'm supposed to talk to the police, not the youth. It's not the youth that are abusing the power on their police. It's the police abusing their power on the youth. Oh God. Crazy. You have police counseling, you have therapy, independent investigators, FBI, evidence cases, DUI. Like, what else can be done, says Prism Head. Liam says, Sarah, just go on talking the way you view it yourself according to your own understanding. I'm willing to be wrong. Okay, I don't think you guys understand. I'm willing to be wrong, but it has to be a logical, coherent argument for me to actually say, you know what? I hear that. But if you're not bringing a logical, coherent argument to me, then I can't go with it. I'm sorry. Okay, so Simeon Mitch says, the police are not good, but youths add fuel to the fire. Okay, that could be a problem. See? Logical, coherent argument. God damn. They could add fuel to the fire. However, I will say this. America and the UK are two totally different places. So I'm just saying, if I was, just for me, this is anecdotal now, and this is totally subjective. If I was living in America and I was raised in a community where I saw police abusing Black people, one, I probably wouldn't like police very much. Two, I'd probably be a little bit scared of them. Three, I probably wouldn't respect them. Now, I'm just saying that from my point of view. Now, we can look at the UK, and a lot of people over here have a problem with the police, right? So let's talk about the Tommy Robinson issue, just for instance. We can see the police force are slow to react when it comes to the religion of Islam. They treat, they're basically trying to enforce blasphemy laws, right? And so there's a lot of UK people, like, just not just Black, not just white, but UK people in general, like, the police are a joke. Now, people are losing respect for the police over here in the UK when it comes to this kind of stuff. They're losing the respect for the police. So police can actually lose respect based on the actions that they take with a certain group of people. It can actually be done. It can actually be done. So this is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be as objective as I can across the board. Police can actually lose respect for people. So if you were living in a Black neighborhood, let's say, I'm just hypothesizing here now. Don't take this as gospel, but you could have young Black boys that are actually scared of the police. There's probably a lot of them that are scared. Okay, they could be. Now, if you've seen video after video of police abusing power in regards to Black people, you just might see a policeman and think, could this be the day that I get that treatment? Could this be the day that I get that treatment? It's possible. Which just may lead to them wanting to run away, you know, because they're thinking, oh, you're not going to do that to me and this kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't know. It's a weird dichotomy. It's a weird dichotomy. Melissa says, Sarah, you don't have to live in black neighborhood. You just have to have black skin. Okay. Good looking honky says, what a name, says white people and black people are not the devil, the media is. STUC says, reverse your question and to how the police must feel every day. Obviously, the police are in a, the police have been battered by blacks. Now, I'm not going to say that police haven't been in altercations with black people. I'm not going to say that, but as a police man and woman, that's your job. You know, your job is to get into, your job is to just protect, and your job is to do your job. So it happens. If you get into a fight with a criminal and they're trying to run from you, and that's part of your job. If you're scared of doing that job, then you're probably not meant to do that job. You know, like who's got time for scared policemen with a gun shaking at? I don't want that guy being part of the police force. I don't want that guy being part of any police force. He needs to go. He's the kind of guy that will be on a battlefield, you know, shaking with a gun in his hand. It's like, that's not the kind of soldier that you want. You want somebody who's capable of doing the job, right? You don't want any scared pussies on the job, do you? I wouldn't. Anyway, I wouldn't. I've never been beaten by cops. Is that because I'm not black? Okay, so I have an anecdotal story. When I was 13, I was with my cousin and my two friends, all of us black. Okay, so we're in the UK, and believe it if you want or don't, it's up to you. And we were 13-year-old boys in the area, and we actually saw two policemen. We saw a police car, and we said to ourselves, should we run and see if they chase us? It was a game, maybe not a smart game. Let's just say it wasn't a smart game, but we were bored and we were like, let's run and see if they chase us. I don't know why that was exciting to us, but it was, okay? So all four of us started running, and we ran, okay? And the police kind of reversed back down the street and were like, why are these guys running? And then they turned around, they started like going after us, right? And so we knew the area, so we cut through some alleyways and jumped over some stuff, and we got over to another side of the street, and we were like, they couldn't catch us. And then literally about 4 police vans just like descended upon this road, and police hopped out. And that's when we were like, oh shit, we just fucked up. But we were like 13, so we're like, we're just like messing around. Then my cousin was a cocky bastard. And the police were like, why are you running? Right? And my cousin was like, oh, we're just getting exercise, officer. And so the officer said, oh, well, we're going to have to exercise you down the station, aren't we? So my other friend was like, why? We didn't do anything. Like, why? What for? We were just running. Da, da, da. And he was like, listen, you're a cocky one, aren't you? Then he took his baton out, right? He took his police baton out. And he actually said to us, I can either punch you in your face or beat you with my baton. Which one do you want? And that's when we realized that, oh shit, like this is not a really good thing to do. But just that interaction with the police, yes, we shouldn't have been running and wasting police time. Okay, we were 13-year-old boys that thought it was funny to run from the police. We didn't actually do anything. I've never been in trouble with the police, as a matter of fact. But that statement made me realize, these guys are not very nice guys. And so, you know, it's possible, is all I'm saying, for people to not respect police based on the behaviors of the police. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, in closing, we're not closing, but I just think that it should be an option that when these kind of things happened, this kind of avenue should be looked into. You should be looked into. It should be looked into. What are you guys saying? Good looking honky says Irish people were slaves, way more sold. Yes, whites. Huh? Okay. I mean, what? Why are you guys talking about slavery now? What's going on? I'm saying blacks need to realize they have it pretty easy here. STUCS. Okay, so this is what I will say. This is why I love like statistics and like, you know, surveys and stuff. So in the 90s, 80s, oh, I have to get the name of the survey. There was a survey done. Sorry, it was in the 60s. There was a survey done in white America. I'll try and find it for you and put it in a link. Don't take my word for it anyway. Don't take my word for it. But it was a survey done. It was done with white America, and they asked a question like, "Do you think black people?" This is the 60s now. This is in the era where, you know, blacks are hanging from trees and stuff, right? They asked them, "Do you think black people complain too much and have it easy?" And I think 75% of the white people that were interviewed said, "Yeah, nothing wrong. Blacks just complain too much." It's that point where black people were swinging from trees. I don't mean to laugh at that, but this is the kind of mental space that I want people to see, that two different sets of people can be in two totally can occupy the same space and live in two totally different worlds. Because there were people being lynched around this time, and white people were asked, like, "Do you think it's all right for black people?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's cool, fine." And so I think they did the survey again in the 80s or 90s, and there's around about the same statistic. And I'm just betting. I'm betting today if you would do the same survey, you'd probably get around about the same statistic. And that kind of shows me that, again, two different sets of people, right, can actually occupy the same piece of land and live in two totally different headspaces, you know? Because I'm wondering, because what I'm seeing in the chat right here now is I'm seeing that there are black people, that there are white people. They just don't agree. They just don't agree whatsoever. And it's like, well, you know, like, if you want to kind of have a conversation, one side is going to have to try and hear the other side. I'm just guessing. They're going to have to try and hear the other side. But if you're both shutting each other down, pointless, isn't it? Pointless having a conversation. That's all I'm saying. We can't live together. Malcolm X knew this, says STUTS. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. I mean, statistically, it will show you that in America, especially, black people and white people generally don't get along. You know, even they segregate themselves from one another, and then when they do come into contact with one another, all hell breaks loose. So I kind of see where you're going. However, you're currently occupying the same piece of land. Okay, you're currently occupying the same piece of land. So the question now becomes, just like if you want to look at it like the Israel and Palestinian conflict, you're both occupying the same piece of land. I know you guys don't really like one another, right? Like, but what's going to happen? Like, seriously, let's just ask ourselves, what's going to happen? You're going to fight until the end of days? Is that what's going to happen? You're going to fight until the end of days? Okay. I personally, I haven't got time for that. I don't know. Separation, bro. Yeah, but then if you're going to separate, says TUCs, if you're going to separate, what you are going to have to do, you are still going to have to go and sit down with one another and come up with some kind of plan as to how to separate. That's what you're going to have to do. But if you're so emotionally led that you can't even sit down at a table, as soon as you sit down at a table, like, then you ain't going to get anywhere. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm not saying it is. I'm saying if that's what your plan is, what his name is, STCU, STC. If that is your plan, if that's the plan, you say separate. If that's your plan, you're going to have to come up with a plan to do that. So you're still going to have to work together in some degree. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Tara. Let's have a look at what you're saying. Someone said, King Fat says it's peak. It is peak. I'm telling you, America's like a battleground, it seems. I'm just saying. Like from the outside looking in, seems like a battleground. Kaleam says, do you think those situations become worse or better? I don't know. Personally, I'm not a clairvoyant, so I can't see the future. However, what I will say is if it keeps going the way it's going, it's going to be a bit of a bloody mess. That's what I'm saying. Ebox Evangelist says, US government should fund a trip for every citizen to a destitute third world country for everyone to gain perspective. Then they might not be so quick and think they have it so bad. Here we go with the blame. The Jews. I agree. The media controls plays a part. Black on black ruin in London. It's not a battle. It wouldn't not even be a ruck. Says Dave Smith. There is more history of black people being oppressed, the whites showing civility. America is a battleground, but has more to do with Trump derangement syndrome. Okay. Sure. Bro, black people are living as second-class citizens since slavery was abolished, and they're still trying to keep you down, says knowledge is key. Black people need to become one nationality, says Mad Wired 1. Anarchy is not possible. Bigger Valley's here. Bigger Valley says, well, what that? Lie, didn't do, blame Jews for everything. Blame the Jews for everything. Okay. Africa still has slavery if you want to talk about how bad whites are, said STUCs. Of course it does. Via the Arab, enslavement and Muslim enslavement. Of course it does. We did nothing. It was them Jews, says King Fat. You get a blame for everything, though, innit? If you class yourself as British, I don't care what race you are, but don't like Britain should start going GoFundMe people want to leave. Okay. Maybe we should all go to Mexico. I don't think the Mexicans would like that good-looking hunky. You can't just go to people's countries. Anyway, yeah, I think I got my point across. Anyway, would you agree that evolving in Africa has made Africans more violent, etc.? What? No. I've always said axiology is something that needs to be studied. If you guys don't know what axiology is and how it pertains to people's value systems and what people find valuable and people's moral compasses, then I think we'll stay ignorant, because I'm all about trying to study human beings. I'm trying to study the way in which people, like, I don't want to call a certain people violent. People may be violent. There may be a group of people on this earth that are violent, but then my capability comes in and says, why? Why are people like this? And so axiology is a study of value, and what people find in relation to human beings, what they find valuable and why they find it valuable. And so if you have an axiology of, if you have a value system that says every man for himself, yeah, if that's your value system, every man for himself, fuck everyone else, that can breed, okay, a value system of with a moral compass that says, human life, not so valuable, because I'm about me. I'm about me, and it's every man for himself. So if another human life dies, so be it, because I'm okay. Okay, and if everyone has that psychology and everyone has that value system, okay, then you get a whole society that may be like, fuck everyone else, I'm about me. So if you have to study the value systems of people, the theology of people and how people came to come to those moral compasses. And that is why, again, if you want to juxtapose it to religion, that is why you will find that certain religions may be more quote unquote violent than others based on the axiology or the value system which the people were living with at the time. And it now became, or the culture of the value system now became a part of the religion. Do you understand? So if we look at Islam, you will find it can be quite violent. You can find that if they have all of the Sharia law things in place, then stoning somebody to death is a thing. Do you get what I'm saying? And I would say it's pretty violent, but they're like, it's the law. But if you look at the people of the time and the value system, they didn't value life very much, okay? There were a lot of warring tribes, beheading people, killing people. They were burying their daughters alive in the desert. That was their value system. Their value system was one of low life value, especially when it came to women. They would bury females in the desert, female babies. They didn't really care about little girls. They didn't care about women much. They didn't care about females. So what's happened now is that has morphed itself into what they call the religion, into the way of life of Islam. And they've said this is God now. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you get that as, when you get your low moral barbaric values and you say it's God, now they're untouched. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, we can stone people because God said. It's like, bro, like, I don't know why God would make that a punishment. You know, like human beings make that punishments, but I don't know if God would. So you have really and truly, we have to study people's value systems and how their value systems came to be. You have to be a thinking person when it comes to this stuff. You can't just be like, oh, that group of people are violent, not understand the why. Because every psychologist or psychiatrist worth their bloody PhD, when somebody murders somebody, they don't say, oh, that person's a murderer. You do, they murdered somebody, fine. But then you have what you call the motive. Okay, so they go into the motive, they try to get into the psyche of the person, understand why they murdered this person. They'll just say, oh yeah, that person's a murderer, and that's it. Me, surface level is not enough. I need to go deeper. That's just for me. I need to understand the why, man. I don't know. I just need to understand the why. I think people can label groups of people based on ignorance, because the thing is, they may, like I said, your statement may be true. We can say X, Y, and Z people are more violent than X, Y, and Z people. That may be a factual statement. But my brain says X, Y, Z people are more violent than X, Y, Z people because, and then I go to the because I try to understand the because, you know? I don't just say, oh, they're violent, because that can lead to hatred and ignorance. I'm trying to get to understanding. That's what I'm trying to understand why different groups of people do different things, which is why I study anthropology. Because I want to know, when you study anthropology, you will find different groups of people all around the whole globe doing shit differently. And you're like, why do they do that? And then the question comes, you're like, okay, let me study them. Let me ask the question. Let me see what's in their psyche. How do they view this tree? How do they view that rock? How do they view that water? Why do they view it that way? These are the kind of questions that we need to ask ourselves, instead of just being ignorant, saying, oh, look at these people. It's not enough for me. It's just not enough. Mm-mm. What are we saying, family? No fathers and victim mentality breeds ignorance, says Chrissy. You could have a point. See, I've always said, I am not I'm not above critique, and my community is not above critique. It's not. People critique the Black community all the time. You're fatherless, you're drug addicts, you're prostitutes, you're X, Y, and Z. We're not above critique. We can say we have a lot of problems. However, if Black people now attempt to critique the white community, or the Arab community, or the Pakistani community, or the Somali community, or the Chinese community. It seems as if people have a problem with that. So when people are in the comment section saying, oh, black people are this and black people are that, and black people have this problem and that problem, I'm like, all right, cool, I can own it. I can look around my community because I'm in there. And I can say, yeah, there is a black and black crime. You know, there is a self-hate problem. And I don't call it black and black crime. I like to call it a self-hate problem. Black people have a big problem with hating their own selves, killing their own selves, self-hate. I can agree with that. But don't think that you're above critique too. Don't think you're above, you know, being looked at too and people trying to understand you too, because, you know, we're all human beings on this planet and no one is superior to anybody else. So that should be allowed for people to be done all across the board. I'm just saying, I don't want people to get in their feelings. I don't want people to get in their feelings. It should be done across the board. Devil's Advocate, Sarah Garver, let's do a live later on this. Who are you, Devil's Advocate? Who are you? See, this is a trouble. I make some statements about Africans. All of a sudden, I'm in danger of being a supremacist. I never said you're a supremacist. I'm saying everyone's a supremacist. You're hoping they're talking about me, STUCs. I don't like all this feed. That better not be directed at me, because I don't want all these feelings. I'm not anyone's psychiatrist or shrink out here. I ain't got to be dealing with all your emotion. Problems don't exist. You guys are dreaming. Okay. It was all a dream. It was all a dream. Yeah, I don't mind critiquing guys, man. Like, I seriously don't. I'm thick-skinned enough and objective enough to say there are things wrong with the black community. I'm actually objective enough to say that. You know, if people keep getting sensitive about it, then we're not actually going to be able to, like, I guess, move past it or fix the problem that we have. You have to first admit that there's a problem, okay? First admit there's a problem, and then you can work on the problem. It's really that simple, okay? But if we act like there aren't problems, and I'm talking about that's everyone, that's black, white, Asian, Arab, whatever. If you act like there aren't problems, then we got problems. You know what I'm saying? Then we got problems. King Faxes. Hollywood always portrays whites as morally superior. Well, you also have to understand that Hollywood is it's spoken from a white narrative generally. Like, we're not living in Africa and we're not living in Asia, we're not living in Samoa, so they're going to speak from their own narrative. And I think people need to kind of get that. You know, if white people were living in China, the Chinese will be speaking from the Chinese narrative. They will make films about what Chinese people find morally correct or what Chinese people find cool. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we can't be ignorant about this. Like, if we're in a European country or a Eurocentric society, chances are you're going to get Eurocentric views. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Let's not be silly about this. Let's not be silly about this. They are trying to work on your subconscious that white are your saviors, like Christianity 2.0. Okay, but so it's nothing new. Just true, King Facts. It's nothing new that, you know, I've said this before, black people have a white God concept in their head, right? Generally, black people have a white God concept in their head, whether it be an Arab God or an Arab prophet or a white Jesus. I had this conversation the other day at Speaker's Corner with Bob the Builder. I ain't got time for that, because generally you won't walk into a Chinese household and find a black God, a picture of a black God on the wall. Generally, do you get what I'm saying? You won't generally walk into a white person's house and find a picture of a black Jesus on the wall. Generally, you won't find it. You know what I'm saying? You won't find it. So I've always said, people, I don't believe in a God, but if you're going to have a God, let it represent you. Let God look like you. You know, that means you're one of God's quote unquote children, if you want to look at it in a psychological sense, people say, our Father who art in heaven. And then we look at our Father and there's some white dude. And I'm like, that's not my daddy. Maury would say, you are not the father. If I came out and that was a white guy, they'll be like, nah, that's not your child, mate. That's not your that's not your child. So if you're going to tell me our Father who is out in heaven, and then we look at the Sistine Chapel and God's white, and we look at Jesus and Jesus is white, and we're black, it's like, come on, let's be realistic about this, guys. You know what I'm saying? Let's be realistic. Like, he's not our Father. You know, he's someone else's daddy, but yeah, he's my daddy. My daddy is not a was not a white, blonde hair, blue-eyed guy. You know what I'm saying? He's just not. He's just not. You know what I'm saying? But he's someone's dad though, but he's just not mine. So I can't claim a father that's not mine. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, fam, I'm gonna be out in like 5 minutes. Where's your studies and statistics that explain the psychological impact of white Jesus, Evox Evangelist? I should actually write one. I should actually write something. Got my mind going now. He's your daddy, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm the daddy. I keep telling you people, I'm the father. What are you guys saying? Pack Mentality says, what does it matter what the color is? It's the message that is the same. See, that's a nice fluffy way to look at it. I would say. However, if you know your mum, Pack Mentality, and your mum's a 5'5" white woman with blonde hair, and she had a message of love and harmony. And then I said, I'm going to write a biography on your mum, actually. I'm going to write her biography. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a film on her, and I'm going to make her be a 6'5" Chinese lady built like a brick house. You're going to be like, whoa, it's not my mum. I know the message was great, but that's not my mum. And I'll be like, no, it doesn't matter what she looks like, bro. It's about the message. You know that's not your mum. Okay, so the message is cool. However, human beings, the first thing, we are visual creatures. Okay, signs and symbols are what normally shape our reality. Words on a page are signs and symbols. Just look at a letter. It's actually a symbol. Okay, it's actually a sign that we've interpreted in our brain. Okay, to say E. Okay, so signs and symbols interpret our reality. Okay, so you can't tell me that that's not also going to interpret your reality. The symbol or the sign of a white god or an Arab god or an Arab prophet is going to interpret. It's going to shape your reality. Okay, so it matters. Debs Donovan, peace. Yeah, actually, the weekend's here. So yeah, you guys have a good weekend, man. You have a good weekend. I'm gonna have a good weekend. Black Eyes TV's in the building. Devil's Advocate. Who is that? Who are you, bro? Like, let's do it. Who are you, bruv? I'm not saying that you're not anyone, but I don't know you, bruv. You're saying let's do a live later on this. I don't know, mate. Don't know who you are, mate. Pack Mentality says, I wouldn't have a problem with Black Jesus. No, you wouldn't, but go to every church you see around the country and just start taking down the white one and replacing it with a black one and see how many people run out of that church. Run out of that church. Like, what the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Why has that guy got an afro? People will care, you know? People will actually care. I know you might say you won't care, but people will actually care. Like, you know what I'm saying? You start taking down their stuff and putting up black ones. People will care, bro. I'm just saying. I am in your grandma's laundry room, King Facts, TM. Oh, gosh. See, that's a tumble dryer right there. You see? John from Armagh says, we don't have images of Jesus in our churches. Fantastic. If I was to do a study and I was to get 3 pictures of 3 different individuals and I was to just show you a picture of Jesus, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's Jesus. I mean, it's not Jesus, and it's because we're not around images, because the image is already ingrained in your subconscious, bro, of the image of Jesus. Whether you put it in there or not, it's been ingrained in there. Dum da da dum dum. Okay. I'm gonna love you and leave you, fam. Ooh. I'm gonna love you and leave you. You lot have a good weekend, man. I hope I imparted knowledge upon the family. I hope it didn't get too emotional and too subjective. But yeah, you lot have a good weekend, man. And devil's advocate,